Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today we're going to be playing with a very unique Chalice Goblins deck list, and this video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. We'll take a look at them after round one. So, I want you to imagine that you take some of the Goblin Rabblemaster and Legion Warboss elements of a Moon Stompy deck list with the Ancient Tombs, and you combined it with the aggressive starts that Goblin Lackey into Muxus can produce. And that's the very interesting deck list that we end up with today. I don't know how this deck is going to play out, because it's not quite an all-in Turbo Muxus deck list with some things like Skirk Prospector and City of Traders as well to go as fast as humanly possible. It's trying to play this weird game of, I can get free Lackey wins, I can get free Rabblemaster wins, or the game can drag long, and when it does so, I'll try to bury you with cards like Goblin Ringleader, Muxus, and Fury. Muxus is probably the lifeblood of this deck list. It's an incredibly powerful effect. And with 31 creatures to hit, most of which are goblins. Fury and Magus of the Moon here are honorary goblins. Oh, Magus of the Moon here are honorary goblins instead of true goblins. But those boards should spiral out of control pretty quickly. And War Chief is another way to go and make it so that Muxus is less expensive. I think I really need to play this deck and see it in action to critique it well, because there's a lot of things that look weird to me at first glance. Like a 3 of Goblin Piledriver is super wild, but then when you consider that it gets +2/+0 for each other attacking goblin, and we're playing lots of things like Goblin Rabblemaster and Squee and Legion Warboss that make additional tokens, it all kind of starts to make sense. So this is really interesting to me. The sideboard here also just feels clean, sleek, and sexy. I know what all these cards are here to do, right? Pyrokinesis, get those creatures out of the way. Meltdown, get those artifacts out of the way. Blood Moon, get those lands out of the way. Everything here makes sense, and the numbers look super smooth to me. I sat down and I went, I'll double check the sideboard to see if I want to change anything. And it just bam, seal of approval. Let's fire this directly into a league. I do not know how some things are going to work out. So for example, we have a decent number of red pip cards while playing 5 colorless lands. I think it's going to be okay though. Another thing that's kind of weird to me is that we're playing some wooded foothills when we don't actually have a reason to. Let me double check. There's no splash land here. There's no crucible. Is there any reason why I need this? Is this purely deck thinning? Because if that's purely deck thinning, I think I'm just going to play 3 more mountains. Yeah, you don't do anything from the graveyard. I'm thinking of Painter Synergies. Yeah, so it's purely to decrease 1 card out of the deck for Muxus hit reasons. Okay, I'm going to turn those into mountains, and then I'm going to go ahead and start the league. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It helps out a lot. And if you're a regular, throw me a like before this video begins. It's one of the easiest ways to support my content for free. Let's battle. Okay, looking at this opening hand, it's real weird, because I can play turn 1 Chalice on 1, but then the Goblin Lackey isn't good. So I can instead just play Goblin Lackey on turn 1 and then try to use the Chrome Box to do something cool. I'll need another land. I'll have 2 draw steps for a land or 2 draw steps for a Muxus. I think I'm going to keep this. Oh, opponent's a fan? You're in a video? Good luck. See what opponent is doing. Oh, that's what we're doing today, huh? We just woke up and chose violence. Okay. What do I want this Chalice on? And this Magus of the Moon is going to be gas if it resolves. Like, I can play Chalice on 0 after playing Chromox, so artifact mana isn't a thing, and it's harder to cast Doomsday. Or I can put it on 1 so that my opponent can't Dark Ritual. I think I'm interested in playing Goblin Lackey so that I can play Magus of the Moon next turn. I'm going to play that around Days here. I think pitching Goblin Warchief doesn't seem super relevant to me. Alright, so there's Lackey. What the fuck am I talking about? Goblin Lackey doesn't put in Magus of the Moon. There's a force pitching a Thassa's Oracle. I'm gonna go ahead and Chalice on 0 still. And see if that has stopped my opponent from... Yep. Either card that I played there was getting countered, to be fair. Alright, opponent is at 9. I need to top deck a land to play this Magus of the Moon. Hell yeah. There we go. Let's see if that does it. Yeah! Let's go, baby! Magus all the way! What a juke. One of Magus of the Moon. Genius 300 IQ deck building. Let's fucking go. So, opponent's gonna have Moon on their mind now, but the card's still probably good. Like, Fury is not particularly potent. I don't really want to play Fury here. Pyrokinesis, same thing. So that probably gets me 2 Thorns, 1 Blood Moon before I start thinking about anything else. I'll probably cut a couple of slower goblins for Null Rod and Blood Moon. Like, I think the Blood Moon always happens, because, like, my opponent making black, black, black gets harder. Null Rod's not great on the draw. Like, twin shot snipers are not super strong, but they can go to face. Maybe, like, Ringleader is worse. I can Goldfish pretty quickly. This random Goblin Matron doesn't feel super necessary. I don't know, maybe Trashmaster is worse. I don't know, Trashmaster is still a lord. Maybe I'm overvaluing twin shot snipers 2 damage to the face, but I don't actually have a combo, like a Sling Gang kill in this deck off Muxus. It often requires another turn. I think I like Piledrivers a lot. A lot. I don't know, maybe the Null Rod's not good enough on the draw. This hand's a mulligan. Do not do anything fast here. And fast is the name of the game. Fast is the name of the game. This is a keep. Am I straight up just fucking getting rid of Mountain? I can also just get rid of Lackey. Lackey's not good right now. I just play like Rabblemasters and Squeeze and try to kill my opponent. So the hand's a keep. I think I am getting rid of Lackey. I think I'm going to keep the other land. Just on the off chance that Chrome Mox gets dazed or something. Opponent's on 5 cards. They do not have a turn 1 play. This will be Chrome Mox pitching Piledriver. Everything else is like the Squee having haste is super good with the Goblin Rabblemaster here. Right. Piledriver gone. Play a Rabbly Boy. Okay, it has resolved. And I'll get in there with a Goblin token. This is a lot of damage very quickly. I will probably play Squee around Days next turn. Alright, there's a land drop. And we'll see what happens. Island. Underground Sea, sure. I think my opponent's dead if they pass the turn with Doomsday, right? Do you have like a Strix? Oh, it's a Cabal Ritual to get to the black, black, black. Sure, that's fine. Doomsday rounds up. Yeah, Doomsday rounds up. They're at 8. I play Squee. I make 2 creatures when I go to combat. That means Rabblemaster gets +3/+3. Oh no, it gets +4 because it'll count the Squee as well. Yeah, this is lethal, and I can play around Days. Okay. Ooh. Cool. So I see LED. I think I see 3 Lotus Petals. 1, 2. I thought I saw 3. 1. I see 2 Lotus Petals. Okay. So I think that means I play Chalice of the Void as a bait card for Force of Will. Or actually, do I need to worry about Force of Will? I guess I can be a good Magic player. 2 Force of Negations. 1 Force of Will, 2 Force of Will, 3 Force of Negation, 3 Force of Will, 4 Force of Will. Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and cast this for 0. Float my mana to play around Daze. Cast Squee. Okay, yeah, we've gotten the GGs. That was a fast match. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com. Moxfield is a deck building website for Magic the Gathering with a ton of functionality. And today I want to show you the tags. So a lot of times when you look at a deck list for, say, a commander deck list, you have some very large categories, but you might have some personal ways that you go and view these categories, like combo pieces, fast mana, humans, interaction, and you can actually sort these deck lists in a lot of ways. So consider checking out Moxfield if this appeals to you. Okay, I will be keeping this hand. It's very much like a Red Prison looking hand that like we can devolve into like doing traditional goblin nonsense in a little while. Oh, that draw is so weird. Makes my Chalice bad. I think I'll pivot. And I'm going to pivot for sort of a weird reason. So if I pivot, it's more likely that my opponent is not going to expect a Blood Moon effect, and then like this Blood Moon has a huge impact at some point in this game. Playing against Delver, or is this a control deck of some kind? Oh, shit. Go and tell. Fury? Actually, no, I think it's Piledriver. I can keep Fury in hand and maybe deal with a creature that, like, blocks. I have to get rid of Goblin Lackey here. I'll discard the Chalice. So I need to top deck a thing that makes a Goblin. I did not. At this point, this Archon of Cruelty buries me, unfortunately. I am comfortable conceding here. The good news is a lot of times my opponent casts a Show and Tell, I put it in a Muxus and things are weird. I'll play some Thorns. Like Pyrokinesis isn't good, that needs to come out. Blood Moon's not exactly great either. It like technically does stuff, but I'm not really excited about it. I'll probably keep the Magus of the Moon because that has points of power and toughness, but I'm not sitting on a pile of like Pyroblasts, which is what I would probably need to win this matchup. Alright, what am I looking at? Non-artifact card. I can't imprint Twin Shot Sniper, which is actually relevant here. This can technically just produce a turn 1 Goblin Rabblemaster and try to kill my opponent that way. Not the craziest crazy person thing I've ever tried. Man, it's so awkward that this is an artifact right here. Because if it's not, I can keep Muxus in hand. That way I have a very good thing to do if my opponent casts Show and Tell. This is very awkward. I don't think I keep this. This is a similar hand to the last one. Probably throw back Mountain here. Imprint War Chief and try to do this whole Squee Piledriver thing. Alright, I'm into it. I kind of have to hope that the Squee doesn't get countered on turn 1. My hand gets much weaker if it does. But this is my highest damage upside way to play this hand. So I think I am supposed to do it this way. But like, then the Goblin Piledriver is uncounterable, and Squee will have made the greatest number of tokens for Piledriver. Although I guess I didn't... That's a weird brainstorm. I guess I didn't actually math it out to see if playing Piledriver first is better. I don't know. Like, I already start by attacking for 3 on this turn, 4 on the next turn. I don't think that scales faster. Again, would have to sit down and do the math instead of narrating my plays, though. I mean, if you triple Lotus Petal Show and Tell me, like, you can fucking have it. That's a Muxus. That's cool. That makes Show and Tell significantly worse versus me. And, we putting in some work. Name Goblin with this. And play an uncounterable Piledriver. Is this lethal next turn, by the way? I stack the Piledriver trigger on bottom. I guess it doesn't matter. Like, we're show and telling right now. Oh, we're not show and telling right now. Oh, buddy. What do you got? Oh, that's what you got. Pretty good. That kills Squee and Piledriver. Yeah. Alright. I still have 2 damage a turn as a clock, and I have a decent number of like lords and other threats that I can play that are pretty good here. Yeah, this is another haste creature. Like, that's fine as a draw. What I hit off Ringleader. Double Lackey is not what I'm looking for. Again, though, I have a 3-turn clock in play, right? And one of those turns happens right now. So my opponent has 2 turns to find Show and Tell or Sneak Attack or whatever. Boo. Why did it have to be the Sneak Attack when I was so good against Show and Tell? Discrimination against goblins. Oh shit. They're not killing me. That's nice. I'm 1 mana short of Muxus here. There's worlds where my opponent just, like, sneaks in a Grizzlebrand, and it's, like, very awkward for me. But here we are. Gotta try. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I'll take this damage. Or, well, rather, my opponent will gain the life, which they can then use for a Grizzlebrand draw 7, which probably kills me most of the time. Play 2 uncounterable Goblin Lackeys, and I'm just short on Muxus mana here. Alright, there's the draw 7, which presumably kills me. I am at 15, though, so I'm not technically dead to an Emrakul. Alright, Archon of Cruelty is fine. Gains them life, and makes me discard this Muxus. That's gross. I think I'm just going to sacrifice a token here. Okay, do you have another creature? Seems like the answer is yes. Okay, that is an Emrakul. I am comfortable conceding there. Like, I can not attack and, like, potentially avoid this exact situation that I'm in, but I think not attacking puts me in a bad spot, because, like, I fall for the same trap next turn, and my opponent gets a chance to just top deck another creature that allows them to put in 2 creatures and kill me. So in the worlds where they don't have the Grizzlebrand there, like, the attack puts them to 2 and shuts this off as a thing that they can use. Okay, do I keep this hand? It just goes turn 2 Chalice of the Void into a bunch of goblins. While I would mulligan this hand with Red Prison, like the traditional Moon Stompy deck list, I think with this deck, this is, like, totally reasonable. I have a higher density of threats to follow up these Chalices than I do normally. A little weird, though, because if I top deck Soul Land specifically, I want to play Cavernous Souls on turn 1, and otherwise I don't want to do that because of Wasteland. I would mulligan this hand if I was on the draw. Alright. My opponent took a little while on their mulligan decision, and then I kind of spaced out while looking at some stuff on my phone. But the game begins now. Alright, potentially playing against Delver. Like, Delver confirmed. We'll try to ram a couple Chalices down my opponent's throat here. Hope one of them sticks. Killing away Pyroblast is cheating. Draw that card, coward! Get punished for hedging against the metagame. Ooh, a Muxus. Alright. Obligatory play is obligatory. You know, we don't live in the world where it's, like, super easy to just play around days by waiting. Because, like, if you wait, then Dragon Rage Channeler just triggers 2 or 3 times and sets up Murktide Regent too well. I am going to be interested in casting this other Chalice of the Void before I go for any goblins. Oh, that's Wasteland to Graveyard. That's good for me, because, like, I don't want to get Wastelanded right now, because I need to work towards Muxus to kill my opponent in all likelihood. Alright, what are we working with? Oh, another one of those. NBD. I was about to say, we're mostly scared of Ponder, because that turns those into 3/3s immediately, and makes it much harder for me to want to play Chalice of the Void, because I'm just going to die to 2 3/3s. I'm going to have, like, very few real decisions this game. Like, I get attacked for 3 here, which puts me to 17. These attack each turn if able. If my opponent doesn't have another creature, I can cheat into Muxus. Alright. Cavern on Goblin. Play a Chalice on 1, which is relatively likely to resolve. Come on. If you have the Murktide too, I'm going to be pissed. Alright. This is an uncounterable Goblin Lackey that cheats in a Muxus next turn. These things currently can't block. Murktide Regent ruins my plans. Oh, it's Lightning Bolt instead, which I tried to play around by playing 2 Chalice of the Voids. But here we are. But it's fine. Wizards of the Coast said it's fine, so it's fine, right? 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 Anyone? I have to play War Chief next turn to try to play Muxus next turn and get a kill, because, like, my opponent is just killing me so quickly. Alright. Swing in for 2. I'm dead next turn. I hope my opponent dies instead. Cool. So now my opponent gets to look 5 card deep for something that beats me. But this deck is totally fair. There's a Bauble that's free, which allows my opponent to look 2 deeper. Alright, that's both of those cards to graveyard. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do here? Like, I had 2 cards that had to be countered, or I probably won the game on the spot. I had an out of winning via Muxus, and my opponent's selection from all of these Dragon Rage Channelers just invalidates everything. Next game. So the moon effects here are probably just too slow. I'm probably going to board all that stuff out for copies of Pyrokinesis, which notably is not going to kill Murktide Regent. So I will have something else to be angry about in just a minute. Don't you worry. Here, Rabblemaster seems kind of slow. I think I'm going to get rid of that, and I don't think I have time for, like, Thorn of Amethyst or anything like that. Oh man, this hand's awkward. Like, this is a Goblin Lackey that just puts in one of these cards, and these Chrome Moxen that are in hand don't actually look good. So this is probably a 5-card hand here. I'm going to try to do better than this. This certainly qualifies as better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Muxus isn't crazy. Twin Shot Sniper not being an artifact is relevant again. Or sorry, Twin Shot Sniper being an artifact is relevant again. I think for that reason it goes back. The Muxus ends up under a Chrome Mox a massive portion of the time. Nope, okay. Cool. I was about to say, just Wasteland me so I can tilt, concede, and move on with my next round. I guess I can't play Legion Warboss into Lightning Bolt, so I attempt another one of these and see if it works this time. Alright, it did work. Got another Wasteland? That seems like a no. Okay, cool. Fantastic. So, oh cool, opponent doesn't have any counter spells. They just F6'd. Alright, cool. We probably steal a free one versus Delver here, but, you know. Okay, cool. So let's try to do that same thing one more time. I think this time, when I am on the draw, I am going to play Leyline of the Void. I'm not exactly sure what to board out. Goblin Matron's pretty slow. Twin Shot Sniper's sometimes removal. Goblin Ringleader gets worse in post-sideboard games where I board out some number of goblins. This is probably 4 goblins that's getting boarded out. Twin Shot Sniper is worse on the draw. Could board down 1 Muxus somewhat reasonably, I think. That also gets a little bit worse when I am going down some number of goblins. This is a perfectly reasonable but slow hand. I will be keeping this since it has a ley line That means that I don't have to worry about Murktide Regent, or at least don't have to worry about it for a relatively long time. Oh, hell yeah. Since I am going to play Chalice of the Void into Chalice of the Void, and I don't have a Cavern of Souls, I just need to rip this off right now. It probably just eats a lightning bolt, because, you know, that's life. Yep. But that's okay. Hopefully I just, like, resolve one of these Chalice of the Voids at some point in this game, cutting my opponent off a lot of outs. And again, since I don't have lands, Oh, okay, cool, it resolved. Anyway, since I don't have lands, I can't really just, like, afford to chill and play, like, sit here, play around days. I mean, of course they would have it in hand. Why wouldn't they? I shut them off all their manipulation on turn 2, and they just had the Brazen Borrower. That's fine. A lot of Chalice of the Void. Alright. Attempt to cast one. Like it's getting dazed. Oh, I'm much better with this world. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, given that a Chalice for 1 has resolved, I think I'm comfortable playing a Chalice on 0 to stop exactly 4 cards from my opponent's deck. It will also stop exactly 4 cards in my deck. I think that's an even trade on paper that works out better in my favor. I don't really expect my opponent to have brought in Meltdown or anything. Kappa. Alright, we're chilling, and I'll Pyrokinesis the Brazen Borrower that my opponent plays out at end step here. Yes, this is fine. I will do it now so they cannot 4 damage. There was a finishing thought there. I'll do it now so they can't hard cast Force of Negation. Dragon Rage Channelers aren't getting in play. Murktide Regent isn't getting in play. There's like one more Brazen Borrower. Hopefully this game is now over in my favor, and we just have to wait a while for the scoreboard to actually tick over. Okay, there's an expressive iteration. Good card is good. Okay, Wasteland is fine. I don't actually mind this. This is an okay trade for me. That goes on Goblin. Allows me to uncounterably cast that, which super matters here. Opponent goes to 16. Alright. Good guys win, bad guys lose. We take down Delver. Ugh. Okay, match 4. My opening hand is awkward. It's like I have Chalice of the Void into Blood Moon theoretically, but this isn't actually red mana. I am going to keep this hand, despite the fact that it doesn't quite cast my spells, because I think... Absolutely, go off. I think my hand has enough good draws where this is going to be fine. This likely names Wasteland here. We're probably playing against 12 post. But yeah, hitting red lands is very good here. And hitting any one of these 3-mana Goblin cards or Goblin Piledriver is also good. So while that hand isn't objectively all that exciting, I don't think I mind too much. Found a way to cheat Elvish Reclaimer into play through my Chalice of the Void. Okay. Can I channel using Cavern of Souls? How was this phrased? Only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type. So the answer is no. Super awkward. I'm going to confirm here that this doesn't work. Alright, I have confirmed that this does not work. And while I had 2 draws to hit something reasonable, I missed on both. I think it's okay. That was so many outs, though, right? I had, what, one end? So, like, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, plus 15, or plus 14. Yeah, okay. And then that was a Vesuva. Yeah. I don't regret that keep, right? Because a huge portion of the time, my draw is relevant, and I get to Blood Moon my opponent or play an aggressive threat, and I missed on 2 draws for greater than 30 outs. I don't know exactly how many it was, but it was a lot. I mean, it sucks. I lost the game because of it, but I think that hand was good. That Walking Ballista is insane there. Alright. Yeah, that's awkward. I'm not gonna concede here, but the game is over in my opponent's favor, unfortunately. Like, it may take a couple of turns, but, like, they can Dark Depths me, they can just search up Eye of Ugin after maybe getting one more Cloud Post. Yeah, there's the Cloud Post. That Walking Ballista totally could have attacked. How much mana is this? 3, 6, 7, 8. My opponent can put 2 +1/+1 counters on Walking Ballista for a total of 5 toughness. My opponent just, like, blocks with Elvish Reclaimer. I can kill both of these creatures and pretend like I am still playing Magic. Alright. Game on. Going to cast Fury. Probably just exiling, like, Trashmaster here. Alright. We're going to split this damage like this, so that Walking Ballista gets killed even if counters are placed on it. And there's only one land in Graveyard right now, so we should, in theory, be fine on that front, unless we are about to eat a Merit Lodge, in which case this is a 3/4. Sure, that's fine. Okay, it just died. Cool. Everything kind of went better than expected there. Oh, that has copied a Forest. That means Primeval Titan happens this turn, and I don't think I ever beat that card, being this far behind already. Yeah, okay. My read was correct. Can just be one more. Oh, a Caracas. Sure. Oh, you've got the Eye of Ugin in hand. That makes that make more sense. Sure. Opponent had something that they couldn't quite cast, which probably means just Emrakul. Alright. Or not Emrakul. 10 mana, exile, 2 thingies. Eldrazi. Olamog, Ceaseless Hunger. I get 2 Blood Moons for this matchup. I could consider playing more copies of Pyrokinesis or Elvish Reclaimer. I guess I need to get that stuff out of the way. There are just, like, aggressive Goblin Lackey starts where I need to power through. Okay, I think I'm interested in this. I don't think I'm interested in Twin Shot Sniper that much. This is going to sound really stupid, but I don't want to spend 2 mana killing an Elvish Reclaimer. I just want to kill it for free and continue to attack my opponent. Ringleader's kind of whatever. Piledriver is also kind of whatever, but it can ramp up damage quickly. I can go Trashmaster out. I think I want to keep every single copy of Muxus here. Actually, I could board out Chalice of the Void. Chalice isn't super strong. Like, it's okay on the play because it stops Elvish Reclaimer. Doesn't stop Green Sun for that. Stops some Pithing Needles, although my opponent's probably not going to play that. They might think I'm on Wasteland still. I don't know. Maybe creature density is more important here, and I still should just play Twin Shot Sniper and, like, just play Trashmaster as a Lord or something. I do not feel good about this matchup. This is not something that I want to be doing without, like, the Wastelands and Rishadan ports. This hand is too slow. Auto Mulligan. And is turn 2 Blood Moon. That's fine. I'll probably pitch 1 Ancient Tomb here. It's just, like, really awkward if my opponent has Basic Forest. I also might take 2 to the Ancient Tomb. Even though I'm going to play Blood Moon. Because it's just so awkward if the Blood Moon gets removed and I lose a critical City of Traders later. It keeps me from casting a Muxus. Oh, love seeing that. Like seeing that a lot less. I unfortunately think I have to Pyrokinesis that. Or Junk the Rabblemaster. And I am comfortable taking the 2 here to play Blood Moon. This may be me being overly conservative here. But I think my points of life matter very little. Matter very little in this matchup. I showed my opponent Chalice of the Void in game 1, right? And they brought in Force of Vigor, right? Like, so be it, but why do bad things happen to good people? Riddle me that one. Like, what a fucking beating. Like, my opponent has double basics to play around Blood Moon now, so they can cast Primeval Titan through that. I guess I'm just casting this. Alright. So, there's only one land in graveyard right now, so this does, in theory, kill the Elvish Reclaimer. But now that my opponent knows that I'm in top deck mode, they can rotate one of these forests into another Cloud Post, which is what they want to do. Good news is, we get a Goblin Lackey trigger. So we got that going for us. Bobs quietly. Alright, opponent's at 19. And life is bad here. Glimmer Post will undo the damage that I will do on my next turn. Okay. We have some things actually breaking my way now. Right? So I get to... Right. Goblin Rabblemaster makes it so that I can't make the mistake of not attacking with my creatures. This damage ramps up quickly. I kind of have to hope my opponent gets a little bit stuck here. Elector oof. This being Cavern of Souls here is annoying. I think I just turn everything sideways, though. It's possible I'm not supposed to attack with the Rabblemaster and try to just, like, draw an out to Fury, but I would be fine trading the Rabblemaster to just empty the board. Like, maybe that's wrong, but this is still just enough damage that I want to keep pressuring my opponent, right? This is still a 3-turn clock, assuming that the Fury does not happen, and it becomes a 2-turn clock very, very easily. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So opponent could have a big Eldrazi that's not quite castable in hand, or they could have, like, Primeval Titan. I have no idea what my opponent is trying to cast over here. Right, because if it's a green sun, you just get a Primeval Titan and I die. It is a crop rotation. Doesn't seem like my opponent knows what they're doing here. Not in terms of, like, not knowing how to pilot their deck, but it seems like their decision is difficult. Yeah. That's Eye of Ook. Oh, it's Emrakul the Promised End. Cool. It's Emrakul the Promised End with Karakas, which is super annoying. So my opponent takes control of me in this turn, which means that I probably lose Goblin Lackey to just an attack into Emrakul. And I also lose my City of Traders to them playing Ancient Tomb. Yep. This could have been much worse, right? Like, if I drew a true red land, then Fury happens. Yep. Knew that was coming. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Oh wow, they're choosing Twin Shot Sniper instead as the thing to get rid of. I guess that's fair. Like, Goblin Lackey is not getting through as of right now, and they know that I have Fury in hand. Goblin Piledriver. What is deterministically dead, right? Opponent attacks me for 13, bounces this, takes an extra turn, taps my Ancient Tombs. That's unfortunate. Alright. GG's. We're 2-2. Ew. Where are the opening hands that just play, like, Lackey into Muxus and just win? I don't think I've actually successfully cast a Muxus yet. This one's a mulligan. That's a weird hand. It's a keep. It's probably the Chalice that goes here. Because, like, I want to play Goblin Lackey into a 3-mana card on turn 2 in a lot of worlds. Alternatively, I can just play Chalice on turn 1 and then play Legion Warboss on turn 2, since I don't really have a great thing to put in with Lackey. So it's Chromebox, Imprint, Warchief, Chalice. Yeah, okay. I will get rid of Lackey. Sorry, little bud. Oh, playing against Death Shadow. Okay. I'm gonna do something real weird here. I'm going to check and see if one of my videos has aired yet. Because I need to know if this is someone who might be copying a video that I just released. It could be the, like, Death Shadow Doomsday. No, that releases in 2 days. Time's a funny thing, folks. I just kind of want to know ahead of time if I need to be expecting the Doomsday. Alright, there is the Force of Will, pitching Brainstorm. Opponent's at 17. Oh gosh, that's so good. That Wasteland doesn't do much here. Oh my gosh, this Chalice is clutch as a draw, though, because it's played around days. Nice. And so, like, that dropped in before the graveyard's very full. So cards like Gurmag Angler and such are very noticeably worse. I have a very high win percentage for this game now. Death's Shadow is notorious for being bad against Chalice of the Void. Like, you have all these cantrips, you have Thoughtseizes, you have threats all at CMC 1. Alright, they are shocking to lower their life total still. Like, they do probably have some Brazen Borrowers or equivalent in the deck that they can find. Like, I don't think they're stone cold dead to a Chalice. Okay, enough out's fine. And sometimes they play the Deuce. Yeah, there we go. What is with my opponent and, like, always having the Brazen Bar... and always having the Brazen Borrower tonight, though? I'm not going to play that Cavern of Souls before I need to use it. I will still put this on 1. But, like, that's some shit. Cool. How about some fucking Justice, though, and I just draw Muxus here. It's uncounterable. Yeah, I'm dead to Death Shadows. That's beyond disappointing. Like, that's very legitimately frustrating. I think my matchup's pretty good here. I'm very good at dealing damage, and the lock pieces I have, like Blood Moon and Chalice of the Void, keep my opponent from playing Magic as well. I'm not sure about, like, the Pyrokinesis and Fury type cards. Like, they're either insane or awful, and there's no in-between. I don't think I want to play Thorn. I think I don't want Pyrokinesis. Fury at least does damage to my opponent. Twin-Shot Sniper is not particularly strong, although it is some reach. The only thing I want are these 2 Blood Moons. I don't think this game goes long enough that Ringleader matters. I'm gonna board that out. Maybe Matron is worse. That is a double Chrome Mox hand. That is like a mulligan to 5. I'm not catching a break here. Like, do I keep this hand and just, like, absolutely lose to Force of Will or Force of Negation, or do I mulligan again? This is essentially a 4 mana source hand because I have to put Muxus under this. Keep and be unhappy about it. My top decks from here are somewhat reasonable. Like, I have red, I'm not wastelandable. I cannot catch a fucking break. This league has just constantly been me saying, like, okay, I've got it unless... And every time it's the unless. I'm losing my mind. Like, by no means do I think I'm playing a top-tier deck list or anything, and, like, I expect things to go wrong due to deck clunkiness or whatever. But, like, I have had some vice grip-looking situations, and everything has gone wrong. Cool. Alright, attack for 1. Just in case you're not overly familiar with the text on this card, this is +2/+0 for each other attacking goblin. Alright, cool. So now the Death Shadow gets in play. Now the Death Shadow gets in play. Cool. Alright. The Goblin Chieftain. Now things are weird. Can't really attack here. Doesn't have Trample or anything. It has Pro Blue, but my opponent might not be able to attack back. I am threatening a very large amount of damage. Alright. I mean, I play it, just not good anymore. Luckily, like, my opponent bouncing my Chrome Mox didn't really do much. Sure. But my opponent can just play Sword and Shield. Like, they can hold the ground with these while attacking me in the air with Brazen Borrower. Yep. Brainstorm's fine. It's, like, very good because it just, like, finds a snuff out for Goblin Chieftain, and then I die. Okay, this is better than expected. That was a quick shuffle. Street Wraith is a lot of damage. Alright, I'm getting hit for 9 damage. Which I think just occurs. Like, I just need to keep both of these back in the hopes that I top deck something that lets me kill my opponent. I do not believe this is that. Like, I always cast it. And then what happens if I attack with both of these? So I always have to make a 2/2 token for Legion Warboss. Oh, all this stuff has haste, that's right. So if my Goblin Piledriver gets blocked, is 2, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. Alright, I'll go for it. I'll mentor onto my least valuable thing here. Although maybe... no, it's fine. Oh, I just win. Cool. That's nice. One didn't have anything. Window for Pyrokinesis is so small. Maybe Goblin Ringleader having haste means that it should just be in the deck. Matron out. Matron's just slow. I don't have time. This matchup's very fast. This has 2 mana, which isn't enough to do anything other than play Twin Shot Sniper. This is a mulligan for me. This is an unexciting hand that I will keep, probably just pitching 1 mountain. I think I'm playing Ancient Tomb on turn 1, but it's super awkward if I get Wastelanded. I could play Cavern on turn 1, but I really want Cavern for uncounterable Muxus as this game goes long. No fucking break for Phil. Now my early game has been shot to shit, and I just have no hand. Thank you, Mountain. Very cool, Mountain. I also can't play around Wasteland because I have to play towards a world where I am able to play a 3-drop next turn. And I have to play Ancient Tomb in case I draw Blood Moon, because Cavernous Souls does not produce the appropriate mana for that. Sure. Am to Turok, taking my 1 relevant card from hand. Ah! Alright. That is a reasonable top deck. I will be very soft to my opponent having a threat, though. Like, Death Shadow is incredibly good here, and so is, like, a Murktide Regent or Gurmag Angler. Sure. 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 Pass turn. I hate Magic. Let's become, I don't know, a My Little Pony streamer or some shit. Oh, it's Gurmag Angler too, on top of Death's Shadow. Are we for real right now? Oh, Hydroblast me instead of playing that, sure. Alright, the spirit is fucking broken, folks. Actually, I'm probably supposed to hold that. Like, this doesn't win the game versus the stuff that's on board here, so I probably hold this for Chrome Mox for the worlds where I rip a Muxus and somehow win this game. Like, I'm done. I'm done. That's it. I'll take my 50 play points, and I'm going home. I'm going home. Overall thoughts on the deck list. Honestly, I don't think the deck list is that bad, but the world had it out for me tonight. I don't think I ever got a Goblin Lackey into Muxus start, and I do not believe that I ever actually cast a Muxus in this league. Despite that, a lot of these losses were still incredibly close. It's hard for me to evaluate this deck properly. My impression is that the side of the deck that was actually winning the games is the Red Prison portion, so this is probably just a worse version of Red Prison. But again, I had all of these situations where nothing broke my way. And so sample size is small here. I'm very frustrated right now. But, like, this deck doesn't get a thumbs down. I am frustrated with how the matches played out and the things that my opponent had. I'm not frustrated with the deck list. Like, there were definitely some small issues here and there. Like, Twin Shot Sniper not being red for Chrome Mox was a problem. Cavernous Souls not casting Blood Moon was a problem. But these are little things overall that I don't think are total deal breakers. It may be that this deck needs more mana if you want to actually hardcast Muxus, because I was not getting to 6 mana most of the time. Alright, I'm gonna get a snack, I'm gonna go to bed, and we're gonna try recording again tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the video and my suffering. If you did, click the like button. I hope you have a great rest of the day. See ya.